Hi everyone, it's Jenny and welcome to my Reading Rush vlog. So it is the 19th of July right now, and I just finished filming my weekly wrap-up for this past week, so I figured I would start my Reading Rush vlog off. And I wanted to quickly kind of go through my reading plans for the rest of the day, as well as kind of my bigger reading plans for the whole week. As I mentioned in my TBR, which if you didn't see, go watch it. I will put it up in the cards above. That I'm taking the GRE this Friday, the 24th, so since I'm kind of losing probably a 24-hour time period during that whole situation, I am starting my reading rush today. It's about 3:30 right now, so I'm getting kind of a late start, but it's all good, really. It is all for fun. So I just wanted to kind of hop on and tell you about my reading plans for the next couple days, and I'll check in sometime later today or tomorrow probably, but I also wanted to say that before I kind of get into my plans or while I'm doing the reading rush, I also will be reading On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. I'm reading this for the BookTube prize and I need to finish it by the 30th, so this is kind of going on my TBR for the reading rush. It won't fulfill any of the prompts, unfortunately, but if it's the 7th book that I finished this week, that would be awesome. Or if it's like the 2nd book I finished this week, that'll be awesome because I need to read it either way. So there's this one. You will not be hearing about this one, but I will be reading it. I only am about 50 pages, I think. Yeah, about 45 pages into this one. So, and it's only about 245 pages. So hopefully we'll finish this one somewhat soon. But then, as you saw in my reading rush, I have my tote bag. If you live in Atlanta, or DeKalb County specifically, you should vote for Ted Terry. He's a great progressive candidate that's running for District Super 6 DeKalb County Commissioner. So he'll be in charge of a lot of the public transit and like affordable housing and kind of the small scale like urban planning type stuff here in DeKalb County, and he has a great plan. In general, even if you don't live here in Atlanta, you should definitely kind of keep up with your local county commissioner, city council people, as they have a large impact in your life and the lives of others in your community. So there's a little political plug for you there. But I have all my books here in this tote bag, and the 3 that I will be reading over the course of this week are The New Wilderness by Diane Cook, which I'm reading on my Kindle, so I'll put the picture right here. And this one I started last night. It's interesting. It's about 400 pages, so it's gonna be a journey if I actually finish this one over the course of this week. I'd have to read about 50 pages a day, but this one is like a climate fiction dystopian world that I think these people are off on their own. They've left the civilization and are now kind of forming their own community that they call the community. And it's interesting so far. I read like the first 3 pages last night before I went to sleep. Excited to keep reading that one. Additionally, throughout the week, I'll also be reading Hood, Feminism by Mikki, Kendall. This one, as the subtitle says, is notes from the women that a movement forgot. So it's basically about intersectional feminism, particularly Black women, and kind of their role in creating the feminist movement, and then kind of how it was taken over by white women, and that's not great. So this one I'm super excited about. We'll be reading about 2 chapters a day of this one. And then we'll also be reading about 2 stories a day of Sleepovers by Ashleigh, Bryant, Phillips. These are short stories set in the rural South, talking about being a Southerner and kind of living in poverty in rural life, I think. So I'm excited about these. Have been super pumped about them. And then the next book I think that I'm going to be reading, and probably the first book that I'll finish, is Enchanted by Gail, Carson, Levine, which I'm reading as the movie that you've already seen prompt. So excited about this one. But yeah, just wanted to kind of introduce the reading rush, and that's everything, I think. Excited to be vlogging. Yay! Also, you can see my cat. I'm going to turn the camera just a little bit. He's right there. Okay, it's late on the night of the 19th, but I just wanted to say that I'm like 25 pages into Enchanted, and I'm pretty sure that the evil stepsisters in this are fat because fat equals evil, and you know, I'm not a huge fan of that, so we'll see how this goes. But I'm not loving the
the fatness equals evilness situation happening right now. So just wanted to let you know, and I'll check in with you tomorrow.
Hi everyone, it is Tuesday, July 21st. I didn't update you at all yesterday because I was surprisingly busy. I was doing some like GRE prep work, and then it was my mom's birthday, so I had a lot of different things that we were doing. We had a lovely like virtual game night with some really close friends, and I made a blueberry jam peach galette again, which I made or talked about in a Friday Reads video last month because I made one last month as well. But I did do some reading yesterday, so I think I'll update you kind of on where I am in my reading, and then hopefully update you again later today because I'm hoping to finish some books today. Although I am accompanying my mom to her empty office to get some like work and emails sent, because it's just much easier to be productive outside of your house than it is inside your house, especially when it's a house for like 3 to 4 people and there's 5 people in the house. So I'm just gonna kind of go over what I've been reading, and yeah, I think that's everything. Oh, I got a bagel this morning. That was delicious. Went out. I'll put a little picture of me holding my bagel that I sent to some friends. Really excited about that. But yeah, so I am reading, so I'll kind of let you know what I have been reading. We're gonna change the angle, spice things up. So the first book, I guess I'll just talk about The New Wilderness first, which is my ebook. And this one I'm enjoying. I think I'm about 12% of the way through, maybe. And I am enjoying this one. I'm kind of confused because it's like a dystopian world, and these people have kind of signed up for an experiment, it sounds like, to see if humans can live in the wilderness, because it's a like very industrialized kind of post-climate change world, I think. And so they are most people live in the city, but there's very wealthy people that have private lands, which I assume are kind of, some are like nature wilderness houses. But this group of people are part of a research study to see if people can like live in the wilderness, and also I think allow nature to sustain itself. But I'm kind of confused, but it should definitely be interesting. They are about to have to go to a new part of the wilderness that they've never been to before, so excited about that. I did read a review that was like, it has major like Divergent vibes, which I never read Divergent, but I did watch the movie with Shailene Woodley because I was very into Shailene Woodley for a while, around the like Secret Life of the American Teenager years for her. So that one is interesting. Then the next one that I pulled out of my bag is Sleepovers by Ashleigh, Bryant, Phillips. I'm about 50-ish pages into this one and really enjoying these stories. They are very much kind of in the style of a lot of more classic Southern female writers. Like I get big Carson vibes and like Flannery O'Connor, in terms of the kind of gothic, very honest look at like poverty in the South and kind of the lack of hope sometimes that happens in very rural, poor parts of the South. So yeah, I'm really enjoying these stories. They're very interesting so far. None of them have necessarily kind of blown me away or provided with like a really emotional punch, but I am still quite enjoying them. Then next up in my bag, we have Hood Feminism by Mikki, Kendall, and this one I've actually been like annotating. I was dog-earing the pages just because if they're my books I don't really care that they're dog-eared, and it's an easy way to kind of remember the kind of quotes and like that type of thing that you want to remember if you ever like reread the book. And I don't think it looks that bad. I know some people are very cautious or more kind of stringent on what their books look like, but I don't really care. But for nonfiction books I do usually actually annotate them kind of like this, just because sometimes I have kind of different things that I'm interested in. So these ones, I think the green are like white women being white feministy, and then the orange ones are kind of really important salient points. And I'm really finding this one really thought-provoking and fascinating. I think I'm about 65 pages into this one. It's really thought-provoking and kind of reminding the reader of the importance of thinking about other social issues. Like, sorry, the sun just like popped out of nowhere kind of, so now it's very sunny. But this one, so it talks about kind of a lot of other social issues that are feminist issues really, but that are often not treated as such because they don't fit into the kind of idea of like upper middle class white feminism, corporate feminism, that type of thing, such as like hunger. And I will say, I think everything that she's saying is super important, and there's so many like one-liners that I'm really appreciating, but the chapters themselves are not, I'm not super wowed by how they're organized, because they just are so the topics are so broad, there's not really a thesis statement for a lot of the chapters. They're just like, so I read one chapter about hunger, and it talked about all these intersections of like how hunger is a feminist issue because it predominantly affects women and children. So just like the societal shame surrounding using food stamps and being part of SNAP programs, the investment of time that it takes to cook healthy meals, and kind of the discussion around like weight and obesity. Like all of those are different things that can be tied to particular ways that like the patriarchy manifests in society, but they were not tied together in that chapter super cohesively, aside from all being like issues related to hunger and feminism. So I'm not like super wowed about how the chapters are organized yet, but I will keep you updated on that. And then the next book I pulled out is On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous. I'm about halfway done with this one, but I can't talk about it because it's for the BookTube prize. I got interrupted, but I'm back now. So the last book that I am reading and about more than halfway done with is Enchanted, which I'm reading for the movie you've already seen prompt. And as I said in my TBR, I've seen this movie many, many times, and I love this movie. But reading the book, especially after you've seen a movie so many times and you really enjoy it, is a very weird experience, I have to say, because this book is very different than the movie adaptation. Like, they changed quite a lot in the movie, and I can see why I think a lot of people who read the book first really didn't like the movie, because it does dramatically change the story and kind of the weight of the story. But I don't know, since I have such an attachment to the movie, it's hard for me to find the book, I think, as engaging as I love the movie. But I don't think I ever told you kind of what Ella Enchanted is about. So it's a Cinderella retelling wherein Ella has been given the gift of obedience, so by a fairy godmother at the start of her life. So it's a kind of very classic like allegory for like women and kind of agreement and submission that girls and women in society have to endure, kind of, So classic, fairy tale allegory, really. But I think, I don't know, there's something about the way Ella's portrayed in this book, and it might be because she's slightly more devious than she is portrayed in the movie by Anne Hathaway. But I don't know, there's something about this Ella that I just don't like as much. I feel like she's kind of almost a little bratty. So yeah, I'm gonna hold judgment on this one and kind of check in with you later once I have probably finished it, because I don't have that much left. Hi everyone, it's actually several hours later. It's around 5:30, I think. So you just saw me and my little sister doing yoga. We've been doing yoga with Adrian since like mid-March, I think. I think we're on day 122 of doing yoga every single day. We started out with her 2020 30 days of yoga, which was called Home. I would highly recommend if you're trying to like get into yoga, if you're getting on like the quarantine yoga type train, although I feel like everyone and their mom like did some yoga with Adrian at some point during lockdown, but we have really enjoyed doing the yoga. Neither of us, I mean, I have been athletic at various different points in my life, and recently I've been like really into swimming and biking, but swimming like kind of gym swimming pools are not open. I guess they're technically open here in Georgia, but I'm not going to go swim in a public pool right now. And then biking, it's just like so hot in the summer that I have not been able to do it. So it's been really nice to have something that we've been doing every day. And I definitely feel that I have gotten a lot stronger and just kind of, you know, more fit in general. So I would highly recommend Adrian's videos. Adrian is our best friend and we love her. So yeah, that was kind of that clip. Today was a like core centered workout, so that's kind of why I was probably pretty core intensive looking. But now I am going to read. I was earlier today, I think I already told you this, I was at my mom's office. The two of us were just there to kind of get some work done. I had some emails I had to respond to about, you know, emailing, you know, informational interviews and that type of thing. And then I was also doing some GRE practice, but now I'm home and I'm going to get some reading done. I have not really read anything since I updated you this morning, but I am about to start reading Hood Feminism, and then I'm hoping potentially to finish Enchanted today, but we're gonna see what happens. As I said, it is 5:30, but I think we're doing what I like to call Tiny Business Tuesday. It's usually Small Business Sunday, but today it's gonna be Tiny Business Tuesday, which is where we just get takeout from a small business here in Atlanta because I don't feel like cooking and I am the person that cooks in my house. So we're going to do that for tonight. I think we're going to a Mexican restaurant here in Atlanta that we really like. And so, yeah, I think that's everything. And I will check in next when I have some thoughts to say on the books that I'm reading. So I do have something to say about Hood Feminism, which I'm currently reading, which is that one thing that I'm not also loving about this book is that it doesn't have the best sourcing and like footnoting, if you will, of the information. So this is like a very much an information-based nonfiction book that has some parts that are kind of more personal essay memoir stuff, which obviously that genre of nonfiction is not going to be one where you see a lot of sourcing of data and that type of thing, but I'm a very data-driven person, and so a lot of times when I'm reading, especially nonfiction, I really like to kind of see the data and see the sources, and I think a lot of people are that way, but I think part of this book, and I'll show you kind of what the note section looks like for like a 10-15 page chapter, like that's the whole note section, which to me, just like, I kind of wish it had a little bit more, or Mikki Kendall would qualify her statements a bit more with like, this is something that I've experienced as a Black woman in a predominantly, like growing up in a predominantly Black community and like growing up in a working class Black community, which she grew up on the south side of Chicago. Like she has a lot of personal experience to back up a lot of what she's saying, and she also has the academic theoretical experience, but I think sometimes the way that she toes that line makes it somewhat unclear if she's pulling from like research that someone's done or if she's pulling from direct experience. Like on page 78 she says, a girl who is seen as fitting into the patriarchy's preset mode of a good girl, one who won't engage in any of that pesky interest in herself, her own goals and concerns, but who is instead seemingly willing to be directed, will often find herself more resources by teachers, employers, or other people with power to effect a positive change in her life. A counterpart who is messier, louder, and more invested in being true to herself and where she came from, no matter how much that self departs from accepted ideas of a good girl, is unlikely to benefit from the same resources. Like, I think that's a really important point, but because there's not a clear, like, sourcing of it, it's hard to know if this is something that Kendall is kind of ascertaining from her experiences and the experiences of her peers, or if it's something that is coming from literature. That's like another thing that I'm like somewhat iffy about this book, is that it has a lot of those statements and not as much kind of qualification or backing up of where those statements are coming from, aside from obviously being Kendall's experience, which, you know, is fine. Like, if you're going to write about your experiences, then, like, obviously you don't need to qualify those because they're something that you are living and discussing, but it does, to me, sometimes decrease the power of, like, a larger sociological discussion if you're not able to back it up with data. So that's just something, I don't know if that's really just a me thing. As I said, I am like a really data-driven person, and data really helps me understand a lot of things, and so I think I look for that a lot in nonfiction, and also sourcing is just something that's very important to me. It's kind of like drilled into me as a student when I was writing, and so I think it's something that I really look for in nonfiction. So I don't know if that's just a me problem, but I did just want to point it out because it is something that's been bothering me about this book and the way it's written. Hi friends, so it is later in the evening. It's about 9 o'clock. I had some dinner, which was delicious, and then I was watching some Downton Abbey, and I also got some very exciting news, which I will share in a minute. But first, I did want to say something about hood feminism, which you can see here, because I read the next chapter, and it helped me to process some of what I literally just said in the last clip, which was that the next chapter was focusing very heavily on kind of the ways in which we talk about Black women and feminism and kind of our reliance on academia and like sociology professors in discussing these issues, as opposed to really kind of taking the stories of people from marginalized groups who are living in poverty, who have experienced intergenerational poverty, as kind of the validation for understanding these issues, and kind of using those people that kind of are living in poverty and that kind of experience these marginalized identities as the people that we then can be the leaders in kind of creating solutions. And so that really made me think, like, part of the issue that's happening in this book that she's kind of arguing against is that we prioritize sociological studies and research about these topics over like people actually who have experienced them. And so I thought that was really important, especially because I was literally thinking in the previous chapter on like, I wish there was more like kind of sociological data that she included in this book. But that's kind of the antithesis of her point, is that we should be just listening to people's experiences. Granted, I do think there's some kind of the way in which she's wording some of this and in this are creating broader commentary on experiences that are kind of her lived experience or the experience of those that she knows personally, which, you know, it is always kind of sometimes challenging to talk about how do we make larger commentary about our lives where we believe something to be kind of universally true, versus talking about something that has been kind of shown in academia. That's always a challenging kind of to walk that line. So I just wanted to point that out. And then the second thing I wanted to say is that I have a job. Yay! So I just got an offer from the 2 moms that I'll be working for. So the Atlanta Public Schools and a lot of the other surrounding school systems have decided that they're going completely virtually because of COVID-19 this coming fall. Schools in Atlanta usually start in like August, so they are going to be virtual at least until October. And so obviously this creates a huge burden on parents in terms of if they are working parents, they cannot manage their child's education. So these 2 moms, one of whom is the aunt of a close family friend and childhood friend, kind of reached out to me asking if I wanted to help them basically be a nanny / kind of virtual teaching assistant. And we just kind of finalized some details tonight, so that is super exciting. It does mean that I will be less available for reading and video stuff coming this August, which I knew would happen, but yeah, so we're gonna have to see kind of how all that goes, but I was super excited to get that news this evening. So hopefully this is an indication that the rest of this week will go very well, and that's something that obviously has been a huge kind of stressor in my life that at least now is somewhat solved. So really excited about that, and now I'm gonna read, so love that. And yeah, I think I'll check in with you next again tomorrow. Hello. We're coming at you live from the pool. We'll show you the pool in a second, but I wanted to tell you we're gonna block Anne's face with the book. Oh no, it doesn't block Anne's face, that's good. That I finished Enchanted this morning, and we're gonna watch the movie tonight, so we'll keep you updated tomorrow. We'll give you a full analysis of the book movie comparison. But I also am starting my outside book, which is gonna be Big Friendship, How We Keep Each Other Close by Aminatou and Anne Friedman, which is also gonna be the first book I touch, as you saw from my TBR. So get ready. I'll keep you updated as we read out here at the pool. And I'll show you the pool because it's really quite nice. So, yeah. And what are you reading?
I'm reading The Lost Books of the Odyssey by Zachary Mason.
Wow.
It's a collection of short stories reimagining Odysseus's journey and life in general. And it's crazy, man. It's a good time.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And let's see, how many of the Reading Rush prompts do you think that fulfills? So it starts with the word "the." That's one of them.
Okay. It's mostly about a country I don't live in. Is that one of them?
It's mostly about a continent you don't live on. Yeah, that's
Continent.
true.
Boom.
A whole continent.
Yeah.
It's the first book you've touched.
Sure.
Today.
In my life.
In your life, maybe.
Yeah.
This summer, today, whatever you want to say.
Something like that.
Let's see. It's a book that you've read completely outside. Have you read it inside our house?
No, I've read it inside our house.
Okay, so you've read it inside our house.
Yeah.
And what's the last one? Oh, your Birthstone. Does it have
It has red. My birthstones.
topaz or whatever?
Blue. Yeah, topaz.
No, it's yellow.
Yellow.
She was born in
topaz.
November.
Yeah.
We looked it up. It's yellow topaz.
It has holographic. Is that what it's called? So sometimes it's yellow.
Yeah. We'll say
I
that
wonder
counts.
if that shows up.
Maybe.
I think it does. It's really cool. I love that about this book.
Yeah. So yeah, those were our updates. Our mom will love this.
Absolutely. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Okay, that's all for now.
Bye, Mom.
Bye. Oh.
Hello.
Named Ella of Friend.
Hi friends, it's about 3:45 on Thursday, July 23rd. I just went for a walk and it is like 89 degrees with like 60% humidity or something today, so very toasty, if you will. But I wanted to come on and say that I finished On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong this morning, so this is the second book done for the reading rush. As I've said several times, I can't talk about this one because of the BookTube prize, but I did finish that. And then also yesterday at the pool, I actually managed to read about half of Big Friendship, which I'm really enjoying. As you can see, I'm tapping it up quite a bit. This one is just really fun and engaging in terms of being like a relatively lighthearted non-fiction book, just kind of about friendship, and it's part memoir and then part kind of more of like a sociological study and discussion of friendship and like really deep, intense friendships and what they mean. But I'm just really enjoying this, and I think if you have close, long-distance friends, you would really find this one to be really fun, which I do have some friends here in Atlanta, but all of my like closest, best friends are very far away. So, it's hard to keep up with those people and kind of not be able to do the kind of daily activities that a lot of friends do, but also build and strengthen a relationship. So I really like kind of some of the more self-helpy parts of this book as well for that reason. And then I'm making good progress on the two books that I've been reading kind of throughout the reading rush. I'm about halfway through both of those, so I'm gonna read. Oh my goodness, the sun just went behind a cloud. Now it is so dark in here. Sorry about that. The sun, it's very dark now. It looks like it's nighttime outside because the sun went behind a cloud. But I wanted to also update you on The New Wilderness, which I am reading and I'm enjoying, but I'm not reading it very fast, which happens a lot, I think, with ebooks that I read, especially because I usually keep them as kind of a, like, right before bed book. So I only read 10, 15 pages before I'm like, I'm tired, I'm gonna go to sleep, and I turn my my Kindle off. So I'm only about 15% of the way through that one, but we're more than halfway through the reading rush now, so I just don't think it's going to get done before the reading rush is over. So I've decided to make an adjustment and instead pick up The Lager Queen of Minnesota by J. Ryan Straddle. I've had this book on my shelves for quite a while, and actually my school, my alma mater, is doing an event with the author, like an alumni event, the 2nd of August. So I want to read the book before then and go to that event. So since it has the in the title, I decided to kind of swap those two out. I still will be reading The New Wilderness. I just am not going to put pressure on myself to finish it. I mean, I'm not going to put pressure on myself to finish this one either. It's about 350 pages, and as I said, it is Thursday. But I am going to start reading this one to kind of see if I can fulfill that prompt. And then I think that's everything. I'm going to start A Burning by Megha Majumdar too, probably, which I'm reading with Lindsay. And yeah, I think that's everything. I'll update you later if anything exciting happens, but other than that, you'll probably see me post GRE tomorrow. Yay. So yeah, I'll check in with you later. Hi everyone, good morning. It is Saturday, July 25th. I didn't update you at all yesterday, but I did take the GRE. It went very well, which was exciting, and then I was very tired after that, so I just kind of napped and chilled and didn't really feel like updating the vlog. But I wanted to come on and kind of tell you about my plans for finishing out all the rest of the books this weekend. It officially marks kind of the start of my like chill time before I start my job, which is really exciting, and I'm just planning on like reading a lot and chilling and hanging out by the pool and stuff. So I'm outside right now. It is only like 10 o'clock and it's already like 83 degrees or something with a lot of humidity. So love that for me. But I wanted to kind of give you a plan for the rest of today, as well as maybe a plan for tomorrow. I don't think I've shown this, but I've been doing like a daily kind of reading tracker for each day. And then this morning I was determining how many pages I need to read in each of the 5 books that I have left to kind of finish all 7 books and finish all 7 prompts. And I have 662 pages that I need to read through the 5 books. So I've kind of split that into 2 days. So there's a couple books I'm hoping to finish today, which I'll kind of just go over now. So the first one that I'm hoping to finish today, I have like 73 pages left of Big Friendship. I am moving along this one pretty nicely. I read a little bit of it last night before it got dark out here in our little like backyard patio area, which was really nice. So I think I'm going to do that now as soon as I finish updating you all. Additionally, I'm also hoping to finish Hood Feminism today. I have about 4 chapters left of this one, so excited to finish this, and I'll be done with my tabbing projects once I finish those 2. And then the last one that I am hoping to finish today, oh, just kidding, those are the only 2 that I'm hoping to finish today, but then I'm hoping to make progress in my other 3 books, which are Sleepovers. I'm on page 121 out of 191, so I have to think about like 8 stories left. The stories in here are really, really short, so I'm hoping to read maybe like 5 or so of these stories and then finish this collection out tomorrow. Additionally, I also have to read about 100 pages in A Burning, which is the first time I've checked in about this book. So Lindsay from Lindsay's Book Life and I are reading this one together, and we had a really good first check-in yesterday. There's a lot of really interesting stuff in this book in terms of exploring ideas of nationalism and anti-nationalism, as well as kind of systems of oppression and marginalized identities that kind of help to formulate the outcome of a lot of your life situation. So I think that part is really interesting as well. And it's a very fast read. For some reason, both of us have the like Book of the Month edition from June, and the like font is just absolutely gigantic. So it's a very quick read. So I'll definitely be reading about 100 pages of this one today. And then last but not least, I'm reading The Lager Queen of Minnesota. It is funny, I have 3 books that all have yellow covers, dust jacket list covers, which I find very funny. But this one I'm enjoying. It's pretty light reading. It's about these 2 sisters who were born on a farm in Minnesota in the 50s and kind of their divergent life paths after something happens that we don't quite know what has happened, but one of them, I believe, decides that she wants to make beer, so she becomes Lager Queen of Minnesota. And so it's an interesting one for sure. I'm enjoying it, but I don't think it's necessarily like blowing me away. But this one's the one I have the most pages in. I have, let's see, 260 pages left in this one. So I think, going to read about 60 pages of this and then finish it out tomorrow is my plan. So that's kind of where I am with all of my books. I also have my coffee with me. I meant to show this mug on Thursday because it's the 1D 10-year anniversary, but it's this mug that one of my besties got me for my birthday one year that has a tweet from Niall Horan on it that says, "Don't want to see a single person today. Thanks. Really, really fun night with everyone, but today, don't talk to me." Which is a big vibe for me. So yeah, everyone who sees me with this mug is like, yeah, that's Jenny to a T. So yeah, super excited to have my One Direction mug, drinking my coffee, and sitting outside until it gets absurdly hot. So yeah, that's everything for now, and I will check in later today. Hi everyone, it is Monday, July 27th. I realized I never closed out this vlog, so I'm going to do that quickly now. I also realized while I've been editing this vlog together that I've not been the most detailed in my thoughts while reading these books, so I'm going to end up doing a weekly wrap-up, similar to kind of how I've been doing them the rest of this month with these books. So I'll talk about kind of my thoughts on them and how I rated them and such in that video, which should be also going up hopefully around the same time that this one is. But I did just want to kind of, in summary, talk about the 6 books that I managed to finish. There was one of the books I didn't actually finish, and I'm still reading it, but, you know, it's all for fun and games. So the first book, as you saw, that I finished was Enchanted by Gail, Carson, Levine. I finished this one on Wednesday, and we watched the movie. The movie was better. You'll be able to hear more of my thoughts on this one in my weekly wrap-up. Also finished On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. I finished on Saturday Big Friendship, How We Keep Each Other Close by Aminatou and Friedman. Really enjoyed this one quite a lot, and I actually will be sending this one to my bestie, or like someone I have a big friendship with, so she can read my copy, and she wanted to have the one that had all of my tabs and stuff. So really excited about that. Then on Sunday, I managed to finish the last 3 of the books that I was hoping to finish. So those were Hood, Feminism, Notes from the Women That a Movement Forgot by Mikki, Kendall. A Burning by Megha Majumdar. I read this one with Lindsay. Really enjoyed it. Excited to talk about it in that weekly wrap-up. And last but not least, I read Sleepovers by Ashleigh, Bryant, Phillips. So overall, it was a really successful reading week. I'm so glad that I was able to participate, especially on top of taking the GRE during this week, which actually did end up going very well. I can't remember if I said that in my Saturday clip, but it went really well. And yeah, I've been enjoying listening to Folklore by Taylor Swift too. It's a great album. Would highly recommend a listen. And I am still working my way through the new Wilderness by Diane Cook. This one I'm about a quarter of the way through, and I am enjoying it. It's just going really slowly, which is surprising because it is kind of pacey, but I just am reading it very slowly. And then the other one, The Liger Queen of Minnesota by J. Ryan Straddle, I'm also about a quarter of the way, maybe like a third of the way through this one. I think I have about 230-ish pages to go, so I'll definitely be finishing this one up and talking about it in my last weekly wrap-up / kind of July wrap-up that I will do this coming weekend. So those are all my books that I managed to finish this week. But before I close out this video, I did have a special guest that wanted to pop in at the end of this clip. Here she is!
Hi!
It's Anne, who you saw in several of the previous clips, and since she features so prominently in so many of the other clips, she wanted to talk about the book that she managed to finish during the reading rush. So, Anne, take it away.
The one book. Okay. So, as you may remember from the pool, I'm reading The Lost Books of the Odyssey by Zachary Mason. And it's a very interesting collection of short stories. I personally am a huge Greek and classical mythology nerd, to the max. And so, one thing that I really like and that I've learned in my first year of college is that mythology is really what you make it, and it's malleable, and it changed. It wasn't just one idea at the time. Like some kids in my classes would be like, oh, actually, this is how the story goes. And it's like, no, there's not just one story. And this really shows that. It has 44 different stories about one guy doing like 2 things. So that's pretty neat. I really like that about this book. One thing that I didn't like about it is that Odysseus is like my least favorite character.
Sure.
But I read this because it was recommended by a professor. So like a lot of people will compare Odysseus and Achilles, and if I had to pick one, Achilles would definitely be my favorite.
Sure.
And there are a couple times that they like roast Achilles, and I'm like, Odysseus, you got no business doing that.
Wow. Roasted.
But
have you ever
other
read
than
A Song of Achilles, the Madeline Miller book?
I haven't.
Oh, but you read Circe.
Yeah. And I started reading Silence of the Girls, which is also it's a very
it's very realistic.
It's like a fair criticism of Achilles.
Sure.
Whereas like Odysseus is as all the bad
Yeah.
things that Achilles does, Odysseus does too, and then he
Sure.
does more bad things. But in Silence of the Girls, it's like, Achilles is not the greatest guy.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, also another thing, this book made me want to create stories. Like the creativity is contagious in this book.
Oh, that's
which is really fun.
Very nice. And we talked about at the pool. We said it fit 4 of the challenges, maybe. So,
Yeah.
Book that starts with the word "the."
Takes place in a continent I don't live in.
Yeah. First book you touched
Sure.
this week. Sure. The topaz.
It can sometimes have the color yellow on the title
Mm-hmm.
if it hits the right light.
You didn't read it completely outside.
No, but I have seen movies about a similar topic. It's about, variations on the Odyssey, and I've seen O Brother Where Art Thou, which is a variation on the Odyssey.
Sure.
So,
Is it a genre you want to read more of, though, would you say?
yeah.
Sure. Oh, great. So, what is that, 5 out of 7? 6 out of 7?
5 or 6 out of 7.
5 or 6 out of 7.
Maybe
so
we'll put it on there.
Yeah, we'll correct
Blank
ourselves.
out of 7.
Blank out of 7. So, for unintentionally
Mm-hmm.
participating in the reading rush, you did quite well.
Although,
Mm-hmm.
with the word rush, you would think I'd read it quickly. And I, unlike my dear sister, take months to read a book that's 200 pages.
Yeah, but you did finish it this week, so
I did, it's true.
That's what really counts. So, yeah. Okay.
So I win.
Well, that is everything. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. If you somehow found my channel through the Reading Rush, hi, my name's Jenny. This is my sister Anne.
Hi.
I make videos talking about books here on YouTube, as you probably guessed. And so I'd love for you to stick around and subscribe if the type of books that I talk about are ones that interest you. Also, if you are interested in any of these books or want to talk to me about them, please leave a comment down in the comment section below. And that is everything. So have a great rest of your reading week, or wherever you may find yourself in the week.
Sure.
And I'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.